We're here, 2 thick 16. We didn't take the week off because I was sick last week. We took the week off because there was nothing fucking happening. You know, what, we're going to come in here and talk and burn a fucking guest and fuck it. We just took the week off. We're refreshed. We hope you had the same. I'm sorry if we left you on the fucking hook. I got a lot of emails I answered last night. People like, what the fuck, Joey? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. Nah, it was just that, listen, man, we've been doing this straight for a long fucking time, and I'm taking some time off of comedy. The next 2 weeks also, nothing. Staying at the house with the family and enjoying this. We're moving offices. So shit's fucking happening. What's up, dog?
I had a great last couple of weeks. It's I don't remember, and not that my life compared to a lot of people who work 9 to 5 is pretty relaxed, but I don't think we've taken time off ever. I don't remember like the last time, like 2 years ago when I went home to Boston in the winter. I don't remember.
It's just that, you know, I went away in November. I mean, it just got to the point where you need a break. It was between the stand-up. You know, I changed my schedule this year a lot. I'm not going out as much, you know, because I want to pay more attention to you guys. We're moving offices next week. Same backdrop. We're just going to have a little office, a TV screen. We're still going to be bad motherfuckers. We're just moving to an office closer to the house. This was the first office I wanted a year ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, more than a year ago.
4 years ago, a friend of mine had an office over there. And it was just a convenient place. We weren't in a hallway, so we could spark up a fucking number, and we can make things at home for you. And that's it, man. So that's what we're doing.
Everyone needs, like, there's something, like, sometimes when I talk to my parents, because I try to talk to them 4 or 5 times a week, there's only so many things you can talk about, and so many times you can tell the same stories. So it's nice. Like, I was just sitting at home, and I was like, oh, I haven't thought about this story in a while, or I haven't said this. So I'm sure for you, it's nice to just not have to talk as much.
Well, you know what? I was focusing. I couldn't wait for the end of the year to come. I could not wait, guys. Fucking in November, I could not wait for New Year's Eve so I could just take some time off. I knew it. I knew I just wanted, I could not fucking wait. And the more I tried to slow down, the busier it got. Little things kept popping up. I still got the podcast. I still got my family. I still got all these responsibilities. You know, the worst thing to do is that people do, that I did for years, and then used to get pissed off, was I became a regular person. And you guys are going to go, what are you talking about, Joe? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I bought into this shit. I bought into the mindset that people slowed down after Thanksgiving. And I played into it my first 3 years here. And then I started working. I never really liked dropping the ball during the holidays. It's the fucking holidays. Once Christmas Day is over with, my mind, I'm about to kill somebody. Like, I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to fucking start doing stand-up. I'm ready to start acting. Whatever the fuck is going to happen, let's make it happen. Like, I'm one of those guys. Like, I get fucking anxious. Like, I'm ready.
Is it because, like, if you take a couple weeks off of working out, when you start working out again, it's gonna suck, and it's gonna take you a while to get going again. So is it because now, like you've been saying for the past few days, this week it's not
dead.
like everyone's gonna be doing stuff.
In my world, this is dead. Like, this isn't dead for me. I still want to rock and roll, but I could tell that everybody else is dead. Like, it's today, people are just telling stories and what they got and what they ate for Christmas and how the flight was. A lot of people ain't flying back till today. The flights go straight now till Wednesday, maybe Thursday. If you're smart, you stay home till Thursday or Friday.
If you can, yeah.
Yeah, if you can. Why you have, I'm not talking about I'm talking about generalities here, how people like to travel. I would never fucking travel over the holidays, Lee. Every fucking year you see people stuck. And they make sure they show them to you on the news. In those cots in Chicago and shit.
See that young girl crying? Oh, I felt so bad. She was just sobbing.
And listen, man, this time of the year, you're throwing a 50% fucking 50%, whatever the fuck it is, 50-50 chance.
Even if it's not, even if you're flying from here where there's no snow, the plane could be coming from Chicago or somewhere else. It's scary. Like, that's, for comedians, it's amazing how nonchalant you guys are about flying, even though you could get, your big money week could be canceled at the drop of a hat if there's a whole bunch of snow.
Okay, but the week starts on Monday, so you already have you already know what's going on. You already know what's going on Monday. If you're a smart person, you're looking at the national weather on Monday, and they're telling you there's a snowstorm in fucking Chicago hitting Monday, dropping 24 inches. You ain't going to New York City on Friday. I ain't no fucking weatherman, But if something's in Chicago on fucking Wednesday, it's going to be alive and kicking in New York on Friday.
Right.
If it snowed 24 inches in Chicago, guess what? We're going to get 9 to 12 in fucking New York. You don't need to be a fucking thermologist, whatever they fucking. I don't need to be. They all call themselves like Johnny Storm or Mikey Thunder. You ain't dick. You're making a hypothesis, whatever the fuck that is, an educated guess.
The ones in LA are scary.
They're terry, but they're terrible. Listen,
Yeah.
my wife wake up. Is it coming down out there? I go, no, it's sunny and fucking 60. She couldn't believe it this morning.
Yeah, they've been saying
stay in. It's going to come down Sunday night. They scared the shit out of these fucking white people. Now they're doing 40 instead of 60. That's all this is. So if that's what I look at. I look at the weather. Remember the situation we had in Boston? And I kept saying, you get the fuck out of there?
Yeah.
I know on Monday, if you know anything about weather patterns, if they got hit. Now, Colorado's different, but if it's headed out Iowa and east, you're dead. And you see what direction it's going. And let's say it throws off a little bit. If it throws off a little bit from Iowa, Boston's getting killed. That's right in the way of Boston. So it doesn't take, so you're in contact with the club. Hey, man, what's going on? Well, now, some club owners are fucking morons. Some club owners will take the chance. And guess what happens, Lee? Yeah, so you get 12 inches on Wednesday night or Thursday. You cancel the show Thursday. But Friday, ain't nobody going out, even if you shovel the roads.
Right.
So you understand me? You see a big snowstorm coming. You know your area as a businessman. You've lived there. You know, listen, let's call it. Let's reschedule this motherfucker and bring a magician in this weekend and handle our losses. We still got the tickets, people's money. They're not going nowhere. They're going to come see Joey. We'll just reschedule them real quick. What's your schedule look like, Joey?
Right.
For me to go to Buffalo and for them to get 2 feet of snow and for me to do one show on Saturday night or two, it's happened to Tom Segura last year. He got somewhere and ended up doing like 1.5 shows.
Jesus. Do you ever get bummed out about the weather? Like, my dad was in nightclubs for the majority of my childhood, and if it rained, I knew he was going to be, he wasn't angry at me, but he would be angry. Like, it would ruin his night because he knew at 3 p.m. that no one was going to come to his parties.
Well, anybody who's a successful bar owner knows, except for fucking a tornado or a 12-inch snowstorm, and even then, people will come out. If you got a real bar, listen, you're not going to get the 190 you expected. But you're going to get 60 alcoholics down there. Okay? You're going to get 60 alcoholics out there. Everybody knows when it's going to snow, and they're going to go, let me go get a couple. Let me go get a few packs of cigarettes and a bottle to bring home. I might as well stop at Joe and Mary's and get a fucking cocktail.
Yeah. And on the East Coast, it's different. Out here, like you said, it was going to rain, and the whole city was going to shut down because of some rain.
Some fucking rain. But I'm talking about somebody who's going to go out. Do you think when I was doing blow, and I wanted to get my dick sucked, and I was getting an 8-ball, and I had money in my pocket that a foot of snow scared me?
Right.
I'd get those fucking snowshoes, and I'd walk all the way up to Joe and Mary's, or when I lived in Colorado, I'd walk up to the Stone Bridge, or wherever the fuck I was. I walked up.
Yeah.
If you're doing what you're doing, if you're real, you're out. The weather don't stop nobody but pussies. Rain don't stop a coke fiend or somebody's going to do some pills and go to a bar and have 3 cocktails. Rain don't stop nobody from getting a piece of pussy.
Right. Well, you had a thing for a few years that you were going to like really snowy locations during like the winter months. Is it because you figured like those people will be able to handle it and they'll come out either way, or it was like when I first heard of it and you did it a couple years in a row, I was very surprised.
I go to Columbus. And I go to Buffalo in January usually. This year I switched it around. So
and then Minnesota the last couple of years,
and then Minnesota. Oh, one year I went to Minnesota. I like the cold weather. I like it. So I want to feel it. I want to feel what they're feeling. I want to make them come out in their fucking weather. I like that shit. Buffalo's a great city, man, and they don't give a fuck about weather.
They had 11 feet of snow last year, and they were still going.
They don't give a fuck about weather. If you're funny and they want to party, they'll come down. That's what I'm saying. So the weather affects it to a degree, in the wintertime. But I've seen people get stuck in cities, people shut down, and you can't do nothing for 2 or 3 days. That I wouldn't mind. If I got weed, or I got a way to get weed and somebody delivers to the hotel, I'm good. I'll just sit there for 2 days and write jokes. You're doing me a fucking favor. I'll do laundry. I'll do my own laundry downstairs. I'll get a whole new set of clothes. I'll wash my workout clothes. And I'll keep fucking working out until the plane leaves.
That's something that I actually wanted to work on this year, is not getting as upset when there's like nothing, when there's nothing I can do to control it. Like I'm a big, I'll beep or get mad at someone driving really slow in front of me, or if like my flight's canceled, I'd get upset before. And there's nothing, I've gotten better at it, but there's literally nothing you can do to
This
make it
year
better.
I had a bad thing. I had Mother's Day. And my flight was at 6.
Oh,
And I
right.
didn't get home till 9 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. I didn't get home. And I got a little hot, but I knew I got hot when they didn't tell us the information. That's what gets me hot. When American Airlines puts you on a flight and you sit there, you have the connecting flight from, you go to LAX to Nashville, and then you go to LAX, Chicago, and then you connect to Chicago to go to Nashville. You board the plane in Chicago. They tell you they're going to defrost the fucking plane. Then defrost, and they tell you there's something wrong with something. They got to bring a part to get off the fucking plane. That's what pisses me off.
Oh, the airlines
That's
are the
what
worst.
gets me fucking hot.
I'm not saying
not
it for
the
them.
fact that that they're delayed. Things are gonna happen. Bro.
Yeah.
That's why I take the first motherfucking flight out, because those motherfuckers are never delayed. They'll push them out because they know, let's at least get one flight out there to get it there to pick up the people that are coming back or wherever the fuck they're going. The airlines will take a shot with that. That's what I do have to give them. But I got one delay last year. I really can't complain. 1 or 2 delays last year. I really can't. One was a 10-hour one.
Yeah, that was a long one.
But I had weed. I had a pen, a vapor pen. I had an e-cigarette. I had everything covered. So if something, I got my iPod, which I lost this last time on the way back from Vegas. I got to call Southwest again. You just travel. You just get used to it. It's life. You just get fucking used to it. You know what I can never get used to?
What happened?
When I first got here, I had the worst thing going on. I can never get used to working on a set.
Really?
Oh, I hated it. Basketball, I fucking hated it. Hated it being on that set. That was my first big time on a set. Hey, how you doing? Hey, your call tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Okay. 7, I get there, eat some breakfast, and we'll get back to you. So what's going on? I don't see my number on the sheet. They give you a sheet with the number of the scenes they're going to shoot and who's in the scene. You're looking at the sheet going, okay, I'm number 38. Number 38 is the last scene of the day.
Oh, no. And your call was 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning. So what do? So you got 2 options. If you don't have prepared, sometimes they put you in a box, bro. Sometimes in the big movies, you get a little trailer, but you got TV. You don't get no reception. You get WK, you get like fucking different channels from Europe and shit and Telemundo. You ever notice how Telemundo comes through? You don't need an antenna, nothing. You don't even need a TV. Just put your hand up with aluminum foil and you'll get fucking Telemundo.
And Korean stations around here.
And Korean station will get through. They fucking play on the radio and shit. They don't give a fuck. Telemundo always comes up. Anywhere I've been to, Telemundo. Once you hear maracas and people dancing, or fucking telenovela. But what was he talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Traveling. Yeah, no. Listen, the movies. You fuck those sets, and then
the movie. Sorry.
And then I think by the third movie, I figured it out. I think by American Gun, I had it figured out, and that's the first time I brought a book, and I brought a notebook, and I brought a pencil. You know.
Yeah.
And I wrote a little bit. That was the first time. Then I figured out people were bringing iPods. Wow, I could take a walk and smoke a joint. And then I figured out people were bringing DVDs. Like in The Longest Shot, I had a DVD player. So I just started bringing Bruce Lee movies and shit. And we'd just watch movies in my trailer with the air conditioner on.
What was that like? So on some movies, you're there for like a day.
Right.
If you're there for weeks, do you have to be on set every day, all day, just in case they need you for something?
No, you get there and there's numbers. All right, so I'm number 6 on The Longest Yard. I was number like 11 or something like that on The Longest Yard. So they have different scenes. Scene number 38 doesn't have me. Scene number 62 doesn't have me. Scene 11 has me. So I got 2 scenes till I work. Now I go on the set and I see how quick they're moving. They're moving like fucking molasses. So what do you think, about 12 o'clock? Yeah, 12, 1 o'clock after lunch. Shit. I go back to my trailer, I roll a joint. I go for a fucking walk, I burn that motherfucker, and I come back and put a movie on, and I sit there.
So you wouldn't be nervous about missing? Like I'm the king of nerves about stuff like that. Like I would always be nervous.
They won't switch.
That I'm going to miss it.
Sometimes they'll switch your number. But where were you? I was in the back looking at a bird. All right, well, hurry up, suit up. They're looking for you. But you know, If they're into a scene and they're in the beginning of a scene, oh, you got time. Especially if people have to fall or something, a firecracker has to go off or something. They have to turn the cameras around. If you're shooting on a TV show, it's two ways. If you're shooting on a movie, maybe they take it from all angles. When I analyzed that, I was on the set from 8:30 to fucking 7:50.
Jesus.
Me and Anthony Lampaglia all day. All day with fucking what's his name from Stripes directing. All fucking day.
Ramis? Oh, cool.
And he was in front of us. They shot us from you. It was De Niro. So De Niro shoots from 12, 10, 2, 3, 9, 4, 8, and 6 o'clock.
And you have to do it all those times?
All those times.
I was shocked by that. I went to go see them tape the Matthew Perry show with my mom. We were there for like 4 hours, and they taped like not even the first act of the show yet. And we just got up and left. It was just too much. It was like we were there for like 4 hours.
That shit takes time, and they got all the money in the world. So if the director wants to move, it's 3 takes. Boom, boom, boom. One for you, one for me. Do it the way it says in the book. Do it the way he wants to do it, not do it your way. Move on to the next one. Let's shoot from this angle. Let's shoot from this angle. I don't need you in this shot, Lee. Go sit down for 5 minutes because I don't see you. I'll just have a stand-in. Me, I'm a professional. I stand in. I'll wait there and stand in.
Oh, so for like over the shoulder shot?
Over my shoulder. You can't see. Blah, 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 blah. They're not going to see you on this shot. Go take a walk.
So would like stars like De Niro or something leave for that? All those shots are never them?
No, sometimes they walk away.
Oh.
And get water. I'll stay there. Sometimes if I'm not doing what I'm going to do in my room. Let's do it. All I'm doing is getting better. With De Niro, I wouldn't leave. I sat like glued next to him.
Yeah.
I'm learning. So why not do the take? Keep doing the take. I'm only going to get better. I'm only going to get more confidence. I might learn something in the fucking takes.
Do they always shoot movies in single camera? Have there been any multicam movies? I was just thinking about how that might work while you're shooting the movie.
When they shot The Longest Yard, for example, when I shot Spider-Man, there was cameras everywhere.
Oh,
the bigger the budget,
they just put a camera.
They put cameras everywhere. You know, at The Longest Yard, it was the first time they used that technology they use in the NFL now, with the camera on the string.
Oh, yeah.
So there was some scenes we shot with a camera on a string, fucking, catapults and cameras and people hanging down and shit
all at the
like
same time. I guess for the football game, it would make sense.
For the football game, you have to shoot it because you have to have a camera on the running back, on who's ever going to make the tackle, on the quarterback. You have to have cameras on different people. So in editing, you can put it together. So you have to have all those cameras on the stars of the fucking team. The Longest Yard, they had shot, the same people that shot the other football movie had shot The Longest Yard.
Okay.
But I guess it was slower for some people. So those football scenes, you have to hike, and then the guy has to get the ball, and there's a camera there, so you see him running through. But you want to see him from the fans' perspective, and you also want to see him from the other side. It was very hard to shoot a sports movie. It's very hard to shoot a lot of fucking movies, man. It's just hard. And now that I've done it, when I watch movies, I know what they're going through. You know, I know what they're going through. When I see a movie getting shot, and I understand. You know, I shot Law and Order SVU in fucking January. You think they gave a fuck? It was 92 below zero, and the winds were coming off the Hudson, and fucking I was down on Canal Street, so those little winds were making me fuck. And in the video, you see me with a T-shirt on like it's fucking yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Like a robe on, like it's yesterday. In between takes, you put your jacket on, you warm up, they warm up your hands. But when you're right there, Jack. That's you talking like normal. You can't go, it's fucking cold. You got to fucking sit there and go, okay, this is what's going on. You know, when I shot that movie, I also talked to the guy that was in that boat movie from the guys from Boston, The Perfect Storm.
Okay, yeah.
The guy from Buffalo, the quarterback from the other team, from the Mean Machine,
was
the guy from Buffalo, whatever his name is. And I got friendly with him, and we were talking about that movie, and he was telling me it was 4 weeks of just underwater training. So before the movie, and they pay you for this, but before the movie starts, you got to go and jump in the ocean, and, you know, there's sharks, and they take that fear away from you, and, you got to say that shit in the meetings. So what does this entail? You know, you're going to be in the water, you're going to be in the ocean, you know that, right? It's cold, there's no heaters. You know, some of the scenes they do in a pool, and they throw ink in the water, and it looks like the ocean, but some of the scenes, you got to jump in for 2 seconds. When we did the fucking thing scene, when we all jump in the mud in The Longest Yard.
Oh, God,
okay,
yeah.
we get there. We got there that morning, and it was frozen. Nelly was concerned because he had a tour that weekend. He didn't want to get sick. It was fucking freezing out. But once motherfuckers started jumping in, dog, you know, they were like, Joey, you jumping? They came up to me like, you don't have to jump in and you don't want to. I was like, what, are you fucking kidding me? I'm jumping in. All these gorillas are going to jump in. What are they going to think of me if I don't jump in?
Right. And for stuff like that, though, did you do multiple takes of that? You probably can't.
We
You'd
did
have to.
3 takes of that.
How do you do it? You have to take showers and change
They
clothes.
wiped us off. We went cut. Then we all ran off. They take your clothes off. They dried us down. They had heaters there. We got heated up. We put shirts on. They dry our hair again. So it took like 4 fucking hours to do 3 takes.
Jesus.
They had to smoothen out the water, dry off the patches where people don't see the fucking thing.
Is acting really fun? Is it just super? Because everything I hear about it, from the audition process all the way through, doesn't seem like it'd be fun at all. Like, but is the process of acting just a great time?
It's fun. I think all of this is fun. Did you watch the fights the other night? Carlos
Yeah.
Condit says something at the end. He goes, I love doing this. I could tell. I could tell you love doing it. If you don't love doing something that much, don't do it. If you're doing it for your dad, don't do it. And if you're doing it for your friend, don't do it. That's what makes things easy. I always thought, coming from a stand-up background, doing acting was always like my break every 90 days. Like, it took my mind away from stand-up, and I worked on a set for 11 days, 3 days, 6 days. I would cancel 3 weeks of work, not because of the money, just because I wanted to savor the moment. I like it. A lot of comics don't like it. I fucking love it. I love just dropping this shit for fucking 4 weeks, going to New Orleans and working 3 days on a movie, and even though it's overnight, whatever. That don't bother me, man. That shit don't bother me. I think it's fun. I think all these aspects for me are fun. But I really enjoy acting. But I also enjoy stand-up. The problem with stand-up is it's a business. And the business side of it fucking gets me depressed.
Even more so than acting?
Well, the business side of acting, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's scale. I'm a lead. I'm a fucking union guy, so they pay me scale. So I know exactly. Sometimes if it's a TV show, you get more than scale because you're doing a guest star. But for the most part, you're working for fucking scale, which I know, and I have an option whether to do it or not. You follow me? Everything's fun until you throw the business aspect of it in. At least it is for me. When I gotta ask you for money, it sucks dick. You know, it sucks dick. Doing stand-up Monday through Friday when you're starting off, it's like I can't describe it. But I could just imagine getting into photography for the first time, or getting into drawing art, or just taking colors and putting them on an Edsel, whatever the fuck the sheet's called. You know, I'm not an internet or you know, anything you do for the first time. That's what makes you fall in love with that. Now you want to seek more knowledge about it and fucking hunt it down and learn from different directors and you know, anything. I'm not plumbing. You know, to some people, to you and me, plumbing is all a bunch of pipes. But to some guys, their family's been doing it for fucking 8 generations. And this means everything to them. When they weld a pipe, when they fucking whatever, prep the pipe with the copper and meld it, you know you're fucking, you know, like that's what it is. A job is something that you do from 9 to 5. Something you love, you do all the time. It's not work. It's not work for me. When I answered 63 emails yesterday, it wasn't work for me. I enjoy talking to people about addictions, and thank you for listening to the podcast, man. I'm happy that you're getting something out of this, you know? If not, I wouldn't fucking do it. I want to hear what people have to fucking say to me. You know, Daniel Gant sends me a letter every fucking week of his family and trees and pictures, and it's all very interesting to me. These are the people that listen. Why is somebody this nice that takes pictures with a fucking sweater on and shit, even listening to the junk we got to fucking talk about? But that's what it, you know, you always want to seek more knowledge. When you're in, I look at fucking Carlos Condit. They were talking about he's taking movement classes, and Carlos Condit never stopped. Never stopped. And
Or something like he had like 500 strikes or something?
you know, people always
something
go, well, I'm taking time more. What time are you taking? What have you done? What have you fucking done? There's no time off. You know, I was talking about how the holidays taper off, how people get lost in the holidays. And I get it. I understand for some people that they taper off during the holidays. I did it for years. And then I realized that When I was in town, I would book shit because everybody else was gone. For years, I would hit my biggest jackpots in December. You know, I shot an NFL commercial Christmas Eve one year. I swear to my fucking daughter.
I've never heard of this. What happened?
An NFL promo. I booked it on the 22nd, and we shot it at 7 a.m. the 24th of December.
They must have really wanted that. Stuff doesn't really happen around that. Like, what was it for? Was it for the playoffs or?
For the playoffs, NFL. Let's go. Let's do this shit. I shot 2 promos. I still see the guy around town. He lives around town. He always goes, "Hey, Joey, how you doing?" He shops at Sherman Oaks, that fucking Ralph's.
Oh, okay.
So I see the guy in there all the fucking time. So it's this is the shit that happens when everybody else isn't paying attention. I used to pay attention. I met Nick DiPaolo at an audition.
Really?
When they were going to fire Artie Lang from the Norm Macdonald show. You know when I went in on that? December 20th. The year I fucking went all the way to the end for Get Shorty, the sequel, they told me December 19th that I didn't get it. All these things happened. The movie with Ving Rhames and the other black guy, Blade, when they were going to box Undisputed.
Okay.
That I booked at that time of the year. Around here was when they went to see me at the Comedy Store. Shit happens, but people are like, oh no, I gotta go back home for the holidays. My buddy had the job on fucking Training Day.
Which one?
Listen to me. He had the job on Training Day of going into Paula's neighborhood and talking to gangbangers and getting them all in the movie for $200 a day. They were paying him $400 a day. They offered him like a 6-week position. He was coming home telling me how he would hear Denzel rehearsing with Ethan Hawke in the other room. Like this was an education of a lifetime. He came to me after 2 weeks and he said, "I'm going back home for the holidays." And I said, "What are you going to do about that job?" He goes, I just want to go home for the holidays." And I remember looking at him. They were giving him $2,000 a week. And he left the job after he got 2 checks because that's all he needed. He didn't care about the outcome. Most of the good things that happen when everybody else is fucking doing something else. And
Well, he just didn't want that job then, because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
One year, like January 10th, I used to get the breakdowns in those days. The breakdowns, you get them at like 4 in the morning. Somebody gets them and steals them from an agency and sends them to you, and then they send them to Lee. And that was my career. The breakdowns are where all the roles for movies come out. They let you know what's getting shot, who's looking for what, how many days, blah, 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 blah. So let's say it would say Breaking Bad. We're looking for a fat Cuban with a mobster look. We're looking for a Jewy guy that's bald, and he has to be under 5'6". You follow me? We're looking for a black dude with a big dick and a one arm. And you look at that, and I remember, I'll never forget, sitting here like everybody was out of town working. And I'm like, this year I'm going to sit here. Because I would leave the whole month of January in the past.
Where would you go?
Syracuse, Miami Improv, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach Club, the Comedy Cabana. Yeah, I would disappear for the month of January, go to all those places and work, and then come back in February for pilot season. And there's one year, boom, characters wanted. Extreme-looking guys, New York City-looking guys. I looked and it was Spider-Man 2. And they said male headshots to whatever. I looked at the address. I had my wife look it up on the map, and she goes, "That's an office." I said, "You know what? I ain't doing nothing today." I put that envelope in and all, my headshot with a fucking letter. She cast Pretty Woman. The lady who cast Spider-Man 2, whatever her name was, cast Pretty Woman. So I said, "I love Pretty Women." You know, I'll never something Cretendon. Go ahead, look it up. Something Cretendon. Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with? So I walked to her. I went to her office in Beverly Hills, and I walked up the stairs, and I went to get the door, and the door was open. And I walked in. The assistant was sitting there, and I fucking gave her the envelope. And she's like, "What's going on?" And I go, "Nothing."
Diane Crittenden.
Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with, dog? I'll never forget that name as long as I live. You understand me? She put me in Spider-Man fucking 2 because I went down and put the envelope in. Because I basically did the work, you know? And that's what happens that time of the year. Nobody else is prepared, and there I am with my dick in my hand, ready to fucking go.
I think that's the most frustrating part for people trying to get jobs is that it very rarely, it seems, matters all about like your qualifications. I think probably close to 60% of it is who's there, like who they know and who's there.
And the hustle that you showed, maybe you showed up at 6 in the morning. Look, if I go get a job, I show up at 6. When you pull up, I want to be there at 7:15. That's the guy that gets the job. If it's a construction job and he's out there freezing, that's the guy I want. He's been out here at attention, saluting the flag for 45 fucking minutes. Everybody else is getting coffee, smoking cigarettes, thinking about their future. I told you this, that before the fucking break, I wrote a list of things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Taco Bell. I wanted to go to the strip club. Well, I went to the strip club one night by myself on a Sunday night. I went to the store. And I got off the one side. I didn't even know where that was. I knew it was somewhere in the fucking valley. I haven't been to a strip club, guys, and fucking since Eddie Bravo was a DJ at the one by the airport. And even that night, like, I didn't get a lap dance in it. I just went to pick up Eddie. One time I went with Joe for something else. That was it. But to be in a strip club like a man and sit there and watch women dance and shit. So I get off the fucking 170, and there it is. Lights and stuff. There's a pool hall next to it. I make a U-turn. I go, if I got to park in the back, I ain't going to go in there. If I got to park in the front, fuck it, I'll go in there. Pull up to the front. Boom. There's a parking spot. No valet parking, none of that shit. I walk in there. The place is dark. Right? I walk in there, and I see fucking some people getting private dances. I walk into the back. I look around there. Nobody says dick to me. Guys are sitting there like fat chicks at a dance, waiting for somebody to come and ask them to dance. They're just sitting there like, and I go, you know what? This is as creepy as it was the last time I came to a strip club. I'm out of here. I walk out. I get in the fucking car, and I look up, and there's a girl going like this. Hi, hi, and I go hi, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at her, and she's like, come back, and I'm like, what? She's like, come back. I get out of the car, and I go, what's up? She goes, oh, my God, I can't believe you're in here. She goes, like, I listen to the podcast, but I'm sure her boyfriend listened to the fucking podcast. So I start talking to her. She's really fucking nice, you know. She's got a great body and stuff. And she goes, here's the menu. What do you want to do? And I go, I don't know. I haven't been to a strip club in years, but they got like a 40-minute lap dance or a 20-minute lap dance or something. They got a 10-minute one nude.
40 minutes?
They don't serve booze.
Oh.
I got a 20-minute one. I said, fuck it. Give me one for 20 minutes. I was okay for about 8 minutes. I had like a nervous breakdown the first 6. And then after that, I loosened up. My dick got hard. You know, that's when you realize you're okay. Once your dick gets hard, you're fine. The first 3 minutes, it was brutal. The first 3 minutes, it was fucking brutal.
What was going through your head?
What was going through my head? Suicide. If I had a gun on me, I'd shoot her and then shoot me right there in North Hollywood, wherever the fuck I was. I'm not used to that stuff, Lee.
Was she facing you, or was it like?
Oh, yeah, she was facing me. She was gorgeous. She was 28. She was Russian. She was beautiful.
I've never been in it.
It freaked me the fuck out.
Oh.
And you know what? Like, I got a hard on. I nut in my pants. I fucking sat there for the last 8 minutes while she rubbed on me like half dead, dizzy, and she looked like I was having a diabetic fit. And then once she got off, we talked for a little while, and then I went home, my little load in my pants, and dried it with a tissue and fucking watched The Honeymooners or some shit last Sunday night. That's what I did, Doug. But I got it over with. Now I got to hit Taco Bell.
I was going to say, can you please tell us, the people, what the next thing on the list was?
It was Taco Bell. It was like cleaning out my closet. It was all shit that I fucking hate doing. And I had like 6 things on the list, and I did 4 out of the 6. 6 things that give me fucking anxiety. That's what I put on the list.
Did you do Taco Bell?
Not yet. That
Good
shit
choice.
gives me anxiety. When was the last time you went Taco Bell? Was it that fucking bad?
I like it when I'm drunk and high, but other than, especially here, it just seems stupid. When I can go get 4 tacos for $10 that are like actual tacos, it's the only time I would go.
Lee, let me ask you something.
What's up?
You and I drive on that fucking road all the time. Have you ever seen that Taco Bell not packed? Have you ever?
Never.
Never. I mean, there's lines around the fucking block. Not lines around the block. I'm exaggerating, but the lines are around the island to the end of the parkway. Constantly, correct?
All fast food. Fast food is always busy. And his diet
Why don't other people think like you about the tacos? How much of the tacos are Taco Bell?
Here, I don't get it. Here, maybe $1. Maybe it might even be $1 here. I don't know how much tacos are there. But it's the only reason I ever went is because like I was just so tired. Like after a day's work, I didn't want to get out of the car. So like I can see that if you're busy. But if you live, it'd be like going in Buffalo, going to 7-Eleven and getting a buffalo wing at 7-Eleven rather than going to Anchor Bar or something. It's gross.
I just wanted to get some shit over with because I don't do shit. You know, let me tell you something, man.
Oh, I'll eat the shit out of it. I'm just saying, I feel that's the one I feel bad about. That and like KFC, I haven't been to in years. That one always made me feel like shit.
I make notes in a notebook. I go to jiu-jitsu. I throw kettlebells around. I do a podcast. I hang out with my wife and my kid. That's about all. Anything else I do, I'm scared of doing or something. Like I talk myself out of it. And something really interesting happened last week. I saw the fucking 7-5 for the first time. And do you want me to what struck my head about this guy Mike Dowd and Chicky and Walter? Do you know what struck me? I was a little off last week, wasn't I not, Lee?
Some days it was because of this. Like, no, I mean, not super old, but I could tell some days.
It was because I felt something when I watched that fucking thing. I felt that, first off, that was me. You know, it's, and then I realized that wasn't me. That was still me. That I've been lying to myself for fucking years, like lying about who I am. Like, what happened was, Lee, at some point in my life, I got really fucking scared of something. Like something scared the shit. Remember I was telling you, man, that my friends, Fernie and fucking Conti all became Bible beaters, and
Yeah.
my other buddy like became Bible beaters, and it was like they saw something that one day made them slow down with the drugs or whatever the fuck. Well, one guy's not really a fucking Bible beater. He says he's an old Joel Osteen head, but I just found out he was doing blow a year ago, so it's all a lie anyway. But I think, like, I was fucking out of my mind. Like, everybody who saw that, they were like, Mike has no respect, and you know, when we saw the one guy, he looked like a cop, but Mike was a fucking real deal. And the other guy was like, Mike was a perpetrator, whatever, a perp or whatever.
Yeah, that was the creepiest one.
When I heard Mike talk, you know, I never signed up for anything, Lee. I never signed up for anything in my life. I was a Boy Scout for 3 days. I never belonged to nothing. You know, it just never fit me. I always felt out of place. You know why, Lee? Because I was different in my head, not because I was a comedian or something, but because of the thoughts I would get as a young man and what I wanted to do. You know, when I was 16, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wasn't going to get a fucking job. I never had an aspiration of getting a job. And once I found out you could take shit, I knew I wasn't getting a fucking job. Like, I was like, I'm not fucking getting a job. Like, I'm telling you the truth. As my friend, I'm telling the podcast listeners how I fucking felt. You know, like, guys, I got in trouble for fucking putting a machine gun to somebody and taking the coke. Like, I didn't give a fuck. And the only thing that really stopped me from doing a crime spree was that I couldn't get anybody from North Bergen that I trusted. See, because having somebody with you that you trust is a different fucking story.
As a partner, yeah.
Now, I got locked up in '88, and I came back out. And I still fucked around with drugs and sold coke and made little moves. But when I went back home in '93, I did a couple more of those little fucking drug heists. I'm not going to lie to nobody and tell you that I didn't. And I made really good money on the second one. It got me started with my comedy career. It got me an apartment. It got me a little car. It paid off a lot of the debt I had. It paid off. And I liked it. When Mike Dowd is talking about that shit, my neck hairs were sticking up. Because I know what it's like.
What about Chicky when they were talking about that first one where he called Chicky to go get the bag of money? And he was saying, like, how your heart just doesn't stop beating even until, like, 20 minutes after.
I am still hooked on that junk. Like, that was my biggest thrill. Like, when I shoveled snow in Snowmass Village to watch some guy's house that sold coke, and he would leave, and I figured out a way to go into his apartment and just take a half ounce of coke every day without him knowing what was going on. And then at night, I'd go back there and buy $40 worth of coke and tell him how I was broke and nothing was going on. But like, I just played this role of a guy who didn't do blow. Meanwhile, I'm robbing the guy every fucking day without even no remorse or not thinking twice about it. Do I feel good about this today? Not at all. I'm not glamorizing this at all. I'm just telling you who the fuck I really was deep down inside.
So when you're watching this documentary, did a part of you ever be like, fuck, I should have been a cop? That would have been a great cover.
No,
Like,
not
it
at
worked
all.
great.
I wasn't a cop.
No, I know you
Listen
weren't a
to me.
cop.
I'm a criminal. There was no charade in my life. I never won a charade in my life. I could have been a cop. All those guys that I went to school with got hired as cops early on. I had no police record till later on. That's not who I wanted to be at all. I was not going to, embarrass that fucking thing and do that. I didn't like dirty cops when I was young, when they would come into my mother's bar, or when my mom had the place in the Bronx and they would come in for payoffs for numbers. It's not that I didn't like them. They just didn't appeal to me. I'm not talking about Mike as a cop. I'm talking as Mike, the mental state of Mike and my mental state.
Okay.
Like when he didn't know either. See, he didn't know. He became a cop early on, and he didn't know.
Yeah, he said
that
he was clean for like 2 years.
He didn't know he was really a gangster. Once he saw it, once you see the opportunity, he was all in. I mean, listen, when you're about to go kidnap a woman, that's what it drives you to. When you're that crazy, listen to me, bro. I had done a lot of weird things up till I kidnapped Vela. Kidnapping Vela was a little high for Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey wasn't that fucking smart. I wasn't that prepared at that time. That was an unprepared move on my part. I knew it going in. I knew it wasn't going to work going in, but the addiction was making me do something different. The addiction was always there, and it makes you do something. It helps you a lot in making really bad decisions. As we all know, that's part of the addiction is.
It's crazy, and he spoke about it in the documentary. He had a drinking issue and other things, and I was just watching it, and then with some of the stuff that he did, you wonder, like, and some of the stuff maybe that you did, if you weren't an addict, would you have done half the stuff the same way?
And listen, it could be an addict to the money.
Yeah.
You get addicted to the money.
Fuck yeah.
$8,000 a week. That's
Ooh,
$4,000
minimum.
every
That's
fucking
just a
week.
start.
That's $16,000 a month cash.
No, 8,000 each a week. I thought.
Oh, $8,000 each a week. I didn't know for
That's
sure.
what I thought.
It's very interesting. When I was watching it, I looked at it from a different perspective. I got sad, but in a way I got very happy because I realized that I got to this part of comedy not as a criminal, but with a criminal mentality in sorts, like with the twittering in a way and all that shit. It's, for me, it was like everything else. I'd go into a bar, I'd see Lee, I'd ask Lee if he want a bump, I'd give him 2 bumps, and I'd cut him off. Eventually, you're going to come up with $40 to give to me.
Right.
You're going to go, where'd you get that? I got another package right here. Let's do this. And the next thing you know, I got you for $80.
So did you ever have a relationship with like the cops like that Barron did? And like
I had a relationship with 2 cops. I had a relationship with a cop in Jersey, and I had a great relationship with a cop in Aspen.
Jesus.
In Boulder, I got arrested because I probably didn't have a relationship. In Aspen, I didn't get arrested at all. Cops only came to my house one time in Aspen. I had no police contact in Aspen, even though I ran a fucking ton. I'm lying to you. I had police contact in '83 before I left. That's when they figured out it was me who was burglarizing things. But they didn't arrest me. They didn't have enough proof to arrest me.
Now, did you ever, like when you say relationships, did you ever have to pay them off, or was just you were friendly with them?
I paid them off with blow sometimes. Sometimes I gave them information, something. You got to give them something. They keep you out there, you got to give them something. You're not a snitch. I wasn't ratting nobody out. I would just know that Lee was getting 30. Lee fucked me one night on a pound of coke. Also, I find out that Lee holds his coke at that Honda dealership on the corners. He gets his deliveries there on Friday. You know what? You need a bust. You know what? When you bust them, though, don't forget about giving me something off the top. Because they're going to steal something. If they pick up 6 keys, you think 6 keys make it to the fucking police station? No, 4 keys make it to the police station. And then if you look at the fucking history of New York as a whole, okay, what kills me about the 7-5 is that everybody's going crazy like they never heard this shit before. For me, this is what I knew about every day. So for everybody else, they're like, oh my God, Okay, so the coke gets to the warehouse. Once they book it into fucking, processing, and it goes into evidence, the cop who booked it goes and gets 4 pounds of fucking dust. And now he goes back one night when nobody's watching. He takes 2 pounds of coke and puts because a kilo is 2 pounds, pretty much. It's a couple fucking pounds. It's 32 ounces, 32.2 ounces, or 34.2, something to that effect. So it's 2 pounds. So you go back with 2 pounds of cut. You take an ounce of coke, put it in there just so it passes the test. And that's what these cops are doing. All of them became drug dealers. All of them. They would bust you and sell your drugs back to you. Cut. You're like, what the fuck is this?
What do you mean?
So I would take 2 pounds of coke from Lee.
Right.
Come to the car, pull you over. Lee Sayat, boom, smack you. What do you got in the fucking trunk? Nothing. I take out, you got a kilo of coke, right?
Okay.
I take it with me. And you got
Got a call coming in.
Go ahead. Yo.
Joey.
What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. How you guys doing? All right, Mikey Dad?
Yeah, we're hanging out here on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale right now, me and Walter.
Okay. Everything all right? What's happening with Walter? You guys eating dinner down there? Did you eat some Cuban food?
Well, not yet. We're right across from a Cuban restaurant buffet. We'll have that tomorrow, but we had to bounce and do the whole Lauderdale trip, shooters and right now Las Olas. We've been driving a lot on the road the last couple of days, quite a bit.
Good for you, man. How long are you staying down there?
We're going to be down here only till Thursday. I'm flying back Thursday. I did my uncle a favor. He moved his rest of his contents from his home down to Florida because he's going there full time. And he did the Jersey to Florida for about 8-10 years. Now he's moving in full time. So, got to do the right thing for the family. So
No, I hear you. We were just sitting here talking about how the last week and a half or so, the 7-5 has been all over Twitter. It plays on Showtime, and people from farmers, in white America see this shit and their jaw drops, and it's just a sensational story about one of many, one of many that was one of the worst precincts in the country for a long time. And here you are. I mean, you did your fucking time, Mike Dad. I mean, you don't owe nobody nothing. You did your time. Nobody could fucking judge you.
You wouldn't believe that. You're saying that shit. Am I on live radio? How much does this work? Yeah, I to talk.
Yeah, you can talk.
My thing is, I did my time, but you wouldn't believe the haters that are out there. Like, this is America, the second chance place of opportunity. We were built on corruption to begin with. We all make mistakes. We pay our dues. I got people hating me. You should be dead. You should die of cancer. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry. Can I say it once and be over, or can I keep going on for the rest of my fucking life? I don't know.
It's amazing how for years I also avoided responsibility. Once you do your time, you learn how to claim responsibility. I tell people that who shot Kennedy? I did. Just to end the conversation. Right. That's how you start thinking. The other night I had an argument with a friend of mine at dinner. As I dropped her off, I went out, I hugged her, and I said, hey, it's the bigger man, the bigger the fucking mistake. And she goes, I know, I love you, and that was it. That's it. You're not hiding in a fucking bush, hiding. That's why I give you all the credit in the world. There has nobody in the history of this shit that I've seen get more enthusiastic when you're telling the story about finding fucking money. Only I used to get that enthusiastic.
Listen, there's nothing to sensationalize about the crimes we did, But the fact is, money, that's what we get out of bed for. We put our pants on, we put our shoes on to go make money. So when you find money, you're not thinking about the blood that was spilled over it. You're thinking about what I got in my hand right now. I want it. I need it. If I don't need it, I know someone that does. I gave a lot of money away, but, they don't write about that. They write about, the condos on the ocean and the fucking Corvettes and all the bullshit, But, I don't want anybody to pat me on the back for anything I did. I just want to take responsibility for what I did. And the thing that I found is that the more responsibility I take, the better I feel. And, if you don't like me for it, I'm sorry. But that's what we do in life. We take responsibility. You can't be shy to talk about it because there's others out there that wish they could and they can't because they never came clean.
Mike Dowd, my life. Oh my God, my life changed once I started talking about the kid. Something I was so embarrassed about.
Right.
Something I was so embarrassed about. And one day I started singing about it, talking about it, and everything fucking changed. My life changed. Some people handled it and they went away. They couldn't handle it and they went away. And the people who did handle it, they're still here.
You know why? Because people that we meet should judge us for how we treat them. And listen. I'm not condoning any criminal conduct, and I don't think you are as well. But we still have to live a life, and you have to put your arm around somebody that turns their life around and goes forward, and wonder how they do it. I mean, because I didn't know how to do it. I just do it one step at a time every day. It's like almost like an AA program. One step at a time. So.
What's great about the documentary is that we see the evolution. Whoever directed it or you as a storyteller, I could see how two young guys become cops, get shot at, blah, 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 blah. You look around, and all of a sudden one day you find an envelope, you find another one, and you got in so deep that at one point you're drinking just to keep you fucking sane. That's what a lot of people don't understand, that at one point you're doing so many things. You got so many things going on in your fucking day that the alcohol is the only thing that makes you focus and puts you to sleep at night. So you don't have to think about that shit, because that's when the ugly comes out. Once you're home by yourself at night, you had a couple drinks and a couple tuturuts, and you're sitting there going, are they going to fucking come in through the floor? Who's going to know that they have a camera there?
Oh, God. Oh, I've been on a lot of cameras, too. I don't know how they didn't catch me back in 1988 or 89. I just don't get it, which is why the thing turned the way it did, because, if you ain't going to catch me now, you people suck. And I don't mean to put anybody down. I put my Corvette in the lieutenant's spot. Come on. I was making $33,000 a year, and the car was $36,000. I just lost $1,500 in the casino, and everybody in the police department knew it. It was embarrassing in a way. I was like, when are you going to grab me? For Christ's sake, rescue me from myself, because I couldn't do it, But, hey, it is what it is.
And those...
You know what? Walter's sitting here fooling around with his Twitter and all that shit right now.
I want to put him on, but I got to ask you something else. Well, a lot of people also don't understand. A lot of the people that are watching this are young. I left New York, Walter. When I I grew up in Manhattan, but my mom had the bar in Jersey, the whole thing. But I had a Santeria godmother on 148th and Broadway.
She candles. She did the candles for
everything. She was the baddest bitch in the world. When I see you, I'll talk to you more about it. I grew up, I grew up on 148. And on the corner, they sold weed. Since I was a kid, even if I didn't smoke weed, there was a Puerto Rican kid, and then he became a Cuban kid, then he became a black kid. And one day in 85, I went to see my godmother before I was leaving for Colorado. And I went on that same fucking block. And do you know what, Mike? I could not find one seed of marijuana. It was crack.
Oh, yeah.
Crack had taken over the city. From 85 to 91, what he's talking about was just something that you couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Those pictures, that's not a...
It hit the police department the way it hit the street. Not to deflect, not to take responsibility. It hit us all by storm, and it was like, you watch a tornado whip into a neighborhood, and when the tornado walks out, the neighborhood's devastated, and people are like, wow, it's a beautiful day today, the sun's out. Oh, that was the same thing like it hit the city. It was amazing how destructive it was. And, a lot of people got sucked up in the winds of the tornado, the funnel, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I left New York from 85 to 91. And I was telling Lee when I watched you on that show the other day, I kind of got sad, Mike, because you want me to tell you? First off, Mike, if I move to New York, the first guy I'm hanging out with every night is you. And I'll tell you why. Because what I don't have out here is the quality you have. You might have fucked up, whatever. I'm out in California where people don't look you in the eye. Here you are telling me the truth, and it made me think about, this comedy thing. I did this as a by the way, Mike.
Right.
I did this as a by the way. Something happened to me when I hit my 31, 32. I got really scared, Mike. I had done my last drug rip the summer of 93 on 178th, right by Washington, up to Washington Heights. That's when the Dominicans were up there, and we followed the car, and the guy ran out of the car. It wasn't even, we didn't have to say tie you up. The guy before that.
He thought you were the police.
They thought we were the cops. And that was it. Hilarious. And that was it, and I left away. But I got to tell you, what you did is what I always wanted to do. I love all that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You want me to lie to you and tell you I grew up to be a comic and I wanted to hang out with these fucking morons that have no loyalty and nothing? I wanted to grow up with men who had fucking loyalty. And yeah, you fucked up a little bit. And you had a good time. You laughed. You went to Atlantic City. The fucking whole thing. You ate the all-you-could-eat crab buffet. But there was something, I liked that. I wanted to always be that. But the problem what happened with me...
I grew up watching Miami Vice, you know what I mean? There's something about Tubbs and the other guys. Crockett and Tubbs, these guys in their Capizios or whatever they were wearing with their white slacks and their nice little paisley stuff they were wearing. It just made you always want to be that.
So
something about it.
This morning I get up at 5, I'm writing, and all of a sudden at 6 I turn on the news and I see Miami Vice is on. And I turn it on, it's the episode where Crockett loses his mind. Towards the end, when everybody lost their mind, they were all doing blow. So they came up with a subplot that Crockett lost his mind. Joe Santos is in the episode. The other the gay guy, El Gato, he was in the episode.
Don't say that. I lost a book contract over that word, for Christ's sake.
El Gato.
The gay guy.
El Gato. Oh, you can't say the gay guy?
I don't know. I got in trouble using the word fag or something.
You can't say the word fag no more. But this guy was a gay guy. But in 1980, he was a fag. See, that's the difference. Now he's a gay. That's the evolution of the fag. They used to be fags. Now they became gay.
I love them all, so don't disparage.
No. I love. No. Please, I got a cousin who came from Cuba. He's gay as hell. I love him to death. I don't give a fuck about that.
Death, right?
I'm just saying I watched this episode today. So for you to say that shit, where's Walter at?
He's right here.
Let me talk to that savage.
Well, to say hello to Joey and his people. He's got a couple of questions for you specifically. Not about the net breaking, though. Go ahead.
Walter.
Joey, how are you, Joey?
How are you, Walter? What's happening? Happy New Year, my brother.
To you too, man.
Are you still that? Are you still 6'6", 300 pounds?
6'9".
6'9".
Oh, 6'5", about 285 now.
How you doing,
Only
Walter?
It's in different places.
How you feeling these days?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good about this.
How was that part of your life? Just a fucking nightmare, huh?
Well, it was a bumpy road, but I enjoyed every bump. I can't say I didn't do it. I did. We had fun. Landed on my ass, though. That's all.
That's it. That's the problem. You landed and you got right back the fuck up. You have a question for Walter? This is Lee Sayat. He's the co-host here.
Hi, Walter.
Okay.
It was just crazy. I was watching it again today, and they described it as like a ball of adrenaline just like crashing through. Like that's who I want to be. I'm a short Jewish kid who never did anything, and I would love to be the muscle for something. That's so cool. Just like to know that you're there to like kick ass.
Well, that's what we did. I mean, we did do our jobs. We protected people. We protected the public. It was the extracurricular activities that the police department didn't appreciate.
Well, it was crazy how you said that like the police department trained you for those robberies. Like you used the formation that they taught
They
you.
trained us for the robberies, exactly.
That's fucked up.
It's crazy how you said a word that when I got locked up, I worked in the kitchen. And there was a black kid, his name was Etchy, and he would always come in every day and go, "Freeze!" And everybody would actually go, "What the fuck, Etchy? Cut the shit out." And when you said it, it took me back to fucking Etchy saying freeze or whatever. But it was watching it, you were there, it took me there. I'm a fan of Mike's, I'm a fan of yours. You turned your life around, and here you are to tell your story, man. And if you really look at it, that's the American way.
A lot of people, it doesn't say in the film, but a lot of people don't realize I went to prison twice.
Oh, you did get locked up also?
I went twice. I went in 89 and again in 92.
For the same crimes?
I got arrested in 88 for knocking off a bodega, according to Internal Affairs. But it was just like what we said. It was a front, and we were picking up money. And it just went through the system. That's all it did.
And then the second one in 92, you came back, and you weren't a cop now, obviously.
No, I wasn't a cop when I come out. I come out in January of 92, and then 4 months later, these guys got locked up, and I got sucked in right along with them, only because I knew them. And, it was actually Kenny, He asked me one of these days when I got out of jail, you still there? When I got out of jail, he asked me, he says, "Can you deal?" And I turned him down. And, I started to try to lead a straight life, and I did. But, just got caught up in a whirlwind. They were after Michael for years, and anybody that was attached to him in any way, shape, or form. And that's how I ended up in jail the second time, too. But Michael's like my brother. He took me in my first bit. You know, when I got arrested, everybody turned their back on me, including family. And, you know, Michael took me in. You know, kept an eye on me for a year before, and he drove me to jail. So, you know, hey. So
It's
that's the way that went.
You got a story and a half, Walter. I'm happy you survived through this. I'm happy you got a second chance. We learned a lesson, and that's it. You move forward, man. Enjoy your little vacation, and hopefully I'll meet you guys in New York in February, or Mike's going to come out, and we're going to show the 7.5 in the office, in the studio here. And we could talk about it, whatever. You're welcome. I'll keep you guys posted, and that's it, my brother.
Sounds good, man.
Let me talk to Mike real quick and just give him one last note if he's not busy there.
Appreciate the reach out. Be good.
Thank you, brother.
Joey.
Mike, so I'm telling these guys, you're going to come back. We're going to come in studio. We're going to play the movie. We'll sit here for a while, talk about it, what you were really going through. Because a lot of times you watch stuff like that and you leave out certain things. And you say, you know, I wanted to leave this in, so make some notes and we'll chit-chat about that. And that's it, man. I got nothing but love and respect for you. You did what you did. You told your story. You did your time. Listen, to make some eggs, you're going to, you know, to make an omelet, you're going to have to break some eggs. I'm sure people got hurt along the way, but they were in a game also. And sometimes.
There's no innocent victims here. Thank God. You know, of course they're going to say I had people murdered and shit, which isn't true. But you know, just I want you before we shut down. I don't know if it's going out live or not, but themikeDowd.com or the Mike Dowd on Twitter and Instagram. I wish people just give me a shout out. I try to get back to everybody that sends me a private message, and also John Cardillo show on iHeartRadio is what we're down here for. That's John. He's a little NRA nut job,
right?
A little conservative psycho, but he's entertaining. And you know what? This is all about a little bit of entertainment in my life too. So it's John Cardillo at iHeart and themikeDowd.com or the Mike Dowd on Twitter and Instagram. I'd appreciate it if you can shout that out. Say hello. I try to get back to everybody.
Okay, no worries. Hey, man, listen, like I said, you got nothing but love from me here, and we'll talk. We'll have you in studio by the end of the month.
My love is back at you, Joe. And my peeps say hello.
Love you, man. Stay black.
All right, love you. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Bye.
Little Tony Bennett. Let me give some shout-outs to my main man, David Christensen, always talking back and forth with me, Buffalo Magic. I love you guys. Valdemar, Richter, Mark Thomas, Rob Bradley, Heidi Geldis Young down there in Arizona holding it down, Edwards Automotive, and Space Monkey Sean. I love you, motherfuckers. Remember the Savage Dad Tour? Starts in Charlotte, January 28th, the following week in St. Louis. At whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, no, the Helium.
Helium.com, but go to joeydiaz.net for t-shirts and for all your tour dates. He refixed the webpage. We're going to start doing the blog on there pretty soon. I think the podcasts are up on there. He had the last podcast up, so that's great. So the webpage is looking up. Go to joeydiaz.net and see what else is crack-a-lacking. Yeah, it's listen, man, everybody has a system, and a couple of years ago I was on a tour with a comic who was very nice, and we got into the conversation about a dirty cop, and this guy lost his mind. He couldn't believe it, and I get it. I had a lot, you know, as an American, you have a lot of respect for cops, and sometimes, but this was a different time, and this was a different era, and the only way you could fucking really judge it is if you were in there, and I knew those neighborhoods. I knew those fucking neighborhoods. I wouldn't go there.
Really?
I wouldn't go there for drugs. Fuck no. Fuck no. Even that Washington Heights in the 80s got scary. They killed a cop with a bucket of spackle. They were throwing spackle from the roofs at the cops.
Jesus.
These motherfuckers were running, you know, this was street game. And sometimes, you know, you look at your paycheck and you're getting $600 a week, but that's what you signed up for. So a dirty cop is a dirty cop. I just happen to like this guy because these are the guys I grew up with, number one. Number two, like I said to you guys, I watched this show, and it really fucked up my insides for a few days. Because my wife said to me in New York, how did you leave this place? This is you from your head to your toes. What you're doing now is like a sham of who you are. Like, you're a fucking city guy. And people understand it was a big sacrifice for me to leave. It was a fucking huge sacrifice for me. I love New York City. I love the action. I love the adrenaline. I love all that shit. But part of me knew I wouldn't survive. And I didn't want to die. Not like that on the fucking streets. Not like that, man.
No.
And then when I went to Colorado, I was telling Timmy Holloway this morning, I was fucking crazy when I went to Colorado. When I went to Colorado in 85, it was like Joe Rogan said. It was like putting a kid in a candy store. I did what the fuck I sold the membership to the mob. Do you understand me? Do you understand how fucking crazy I was? When I got divorced in 91, I went back into street mode. I started selling Valiums, and I started hustling, Jack. I started selling neon door to door, and I just started fucking hustling, and one thing led to another, and, next thing you know, I always knew that I could go back to selling something if I got in a bind. Those first couple of years here, I would sell something from time to time. I was always putting a move together. If rent wasn't made by the 25th and I had 6 days to go, that means you got to sell an 8-ball or two. You got to come up with, $400 or $500. Something's got to be done. So I would do it because I always knew I could go back to it. And number two, I was fucking good at it. It's what I know, Lee. It's what I know. This comedy thing was something I hit under, and it hit because I happen to tell these fucking stories and shit like that. It's scary. It scares the shit out of me.
And it's crazy how different people can grow up. Like, I'm one of the people, I watched that documentary. My only experience with cops until maybe like high school was Officer Rocky. He was the dare cop, and he came in like with like a stuffed animal. And like to think about cops going and giving a police escort to the head of a mob is I know it happens now, but if I had watched this at like 15.
Well, I think corruption is down now. I think corruption still exists. It's just a little down now because you have more eyeballs, you have more film, you have more camera, you have more, and still cops are shooting people. Cops are shooting people more than fucking ever. But I mean,
maybe because they can't steal. Maybe because they were making all their money from all that.
I don't fucking know, but it's just. Listen, man, you're paid to protect the public, and it turns into something else, and I get it. And sometimes life turns into something else. Sometimes you come to me and go, Joey, I'm a good-looking girl. I'm 23. I got a great body. I got a boyfriend who's a loser. Every time I take my shirt off, guys go crazy. Why shouldn't I go strip? And I'm going to go strip for 6 months. My friend said I can make $5,000 a week. I don't have to fuck nobody. You go up there, you strip, and all of a sudden one day somebody gives you a taste of coke. And you start doing coke, and even though you're doing the classes now, you meet some guy, and all of a sudden what you thought was you had a lid on, you don't have a lid on. And I'm just using a stripper. I'm not, it could be anybody. It could be a construction worker. It could be anything. You just get caught up in things. That's why I always tell people to think about what they're doing before they go down there, or think, because you never know. People fucking get caught up.
And to me, I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was being honest, but it sounded in the documentary like he liked being a cop. And like he was proud of it. Like when they asked how long were you a cop, he knew to like the month. And just stuff like it just seemed like he was.
Sometimes life gets out of. Sometimes life you just lose hold on it. I know people listening to this podcast, half of you are going one way, half of you are going the other way. But the bottom line is sometimes you lose focus of something.
You wanted to be in the military, right? You almost signed up for the Marine. Which one? Something. Like, what if you had done that? Then this could have been the same path, kind of.
I wanted to please my mom. My mom always said you have to join the military when you get older for a few years and stuff. And I didn't know what I was going to do. Like I said, I had no idea. It's not like I grew up going, I'm going to be a fucking fireman or, I didn't know. I didn't fucking know. But once I started doing drugs and she was gone and I had no family and I had nothing to, in a way, live for, in a way, that's why I became what I did. And that's why I took the chances I did. I took the chances I did because I really had nobody at home. Nobody to please, nobody to make proud, nobody to do nothing like that. And when you don't have that, fuck it. I used to tell my friends, listen, I'm going to rob this with you, but I don't want you going in. Let me do this. If I get busted, I know your mom. I don't want your mom mad at me. Shit like that. I was one of those fucking guys, you know?
Right. And the other guy in the documentary, Kenny, in some way I related to him a lot, and how he just got caught up in it, and it sounded kind of like you. He said the only reason he was a cop was because that test was before the firefighter test.
You don't know. You don't know. You grow up in some of those areas. You don't know. Some kids are blessed. They know exactly what they want to do when they're 16. They want to be a pilot. They already have a path. Others don't know what they want to do till they're fucking 30. And that's just the way it fucking happens, you know? I mean, it's the elephant in the room, so I got to talk about it. You know, I was talking about how I never joined nothing. I was never really a part of nothing, Lee. You know, I was a fucking criminal. And when I moved back to Colorado in '93, and I did that stupid thing in New Jersey, and I made some money, I went with the intention of becoming a comic. I went back to Colorado with two intentions. First, to become a dad, and then to become a comic. Okay, that was the plan.
When you went back after being in New York?
In New York. This is '93, November of '93. I go back to Colorado, and I work at it. And I'm trying to be a dad, and I'm trying to do the best I can, but I'm getting into arguments with this chick, and I'm getting hot with my ex-wife, and I'm getting hotter and hotter. And all of a sudden, through all this, who I was coming out. I was getting hotter and hotter, and when it comes to that, I don't know the diplomacy side. I don't know anything of that side. I just know the street side of things. I know the street side of things, and you can't disrespect me, and I can't disrespect you. This can't keep going up. And I got out of the control and whatever, and I got hotter and hotter, and like I said, I was a criminal then. I would rob anything in those days, especially after I got out of prison and after I got separated. I was very careful in my steps. I was very careful what I did.
Were you not careful before?
I was always careful, but I didn't pay attention. I paid attention a lot more. I paid attention to what I was selling, who I was with, and the things I was doing. I wanted to keep things under a certain radar, so if I did have to go back to jail, you follow me? And I was in my heart, I just wanted to get out of whatever I was doing and just be a comedian. But it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. You had to work hard, you know. And I would go out at night, and some months, man, I made it. I paid my rent, and I could pay my car payment. I could pay a little child support or whatever. And some months I didn't. And the months I didn't, I sold pills or I sold coke or, you know, I robbed whatever the fuck I could do, you know. But then I got into comedy, and like I said, I never belonged to anything. I was lost. And from the minute I got into fucking comedy, people come up to me and say, "Hey, man, has Mitzi Shore seen you yet? When she sees you, you're going to be at the fucking store." And all of a sudden, I get made a regular at the fucking store, and one thing leads to another. And I got to tell you something, man. I did some fucked up things at the store, like I would steal phones, like cell phones. People would do like help, lost and found, and put them in lost, and I would take 3 phones and take them to Crenshaw and sell them to this black bank robber I knew. That he used to hang out with Eddie Griffin at the Comedy Store, and they were criminals. They got arrested for robbing a bank in L.A.
I know we don't have time for that story right now, but we're gonna put a pin in that.
Yeah, which one? The fucking bank robbers, the black robbers from Crenshaw. They used to hang out at the store with Eddie Griffin, and they were from St. Louis. In fact, they did a long stretch for bank robbery here in L.A. One of them got shot right here in L.A. That's why I don't see them. I never saw those guys again. This was 99, 2000. But as I had a hard time there in the beginning, some guy said I was doing it. He was Jewish, and he said I was doing one of his jokes, and I kind of pushed him, and he fell down. I never really had a problem after that. I had an argument with Don Barris. I had an argument with this kid that broke the microphone one night. I told him, "Don't touch the microphone because you're going to break the microphone, and nobody else is going to be able to go up." What do you think the fucking kid did? He broke the microphone. So me, him, and this other kid went to war for a few months. But it was things that happened with personalities. It wasn't me trying to be a scumbag to other comedians. Before I got into comedy, I read that book by fucking my favorite Jewish comic, whatever, Lenny Bruce. And there's one book, and he spoke about the camaraderie of comics. And I had always believed in the camaraderie of comics. I wasn't a criminal no more. You know, guys, I'm good at some things, but I'm very naive at the others, you know. You know, there's treachery in the regular business world. There's treachery at a Fortune 500 company. There's always somebody trying to stab somebody in the back. But I was so naively, I didn't really believe that happened in comedy. until I got to the store.
Why? Like, did you think it was because it's just so
was
positive? Like, why would it be
Yeah,
there?
it was an art. It was an art. You know, it was just something that I didn't really have to fuck with Lee. You know, I didn't know I had to fuck with Lee to do this. So when I got to the store, people tried to fuck with me a little bit, and I bounced boy, and then I just did my spots, and then I got into some beefs, and the word got out that I stuck up for myself, and I really didn't give a fuck. So people left me the fuck alone, okay? And all of a sudden I'm in there, and this kid comes in, and he's really cool, and we used to talk all the time, John Caparulo. We'd talk about this or that, and blah, 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 blah. And he was a funny kid, and he would go on stage, and everybody giggled, and I used to giggle with fucking Duncan. Me and Duncan had him believing that if he wanted spots, he had to pay $15 a spot, that this is how we did it at the Comedy Store. And he was so naive. He was just a sweet kid. But one day he starts getting success, and he starts... Duncan quits after they did the Comedy Store show on TNT. Remember years ago, TBS did the Pauly Shore and all that?
I heard about it, yeah.
Duncan quit. Duncan said, fuck you. I'm not being in no show with Pauly Shore. So Duncan quit, so they made the phone guy, the fucking... The talent coordinator, which wasn't a good move on Mitzi, but she didn't have time to look around. Plus, the kid took the job for fucking peanuts. But after about 2 or 3 years, the kid's job went to his fucking head. And here's this Caparulo kid fucking with Tommy, you know, and they like each other and they're whatever means. And in 2006, I was fucking knee deep in addiction, dog. I would basically go to the store to buy blow. I would do my spot and make a U-turn and go to either El Compadre or to the Martel Cartel and buy blow and go home. And I could see that there was something in the air that was different. You know, Joe Rogan was huge. He was coming off Fear Factor. He would pack the place every week with a fucking MySpace in that day or whatever the fuck was popular in those days.
MySpace.
It was MySpace, and he packed the place out. And I could tell there wasn't a good feeling towards him. He was doing 40 minutes. Not on my end. I loved it. He would get me and Ari to go up perform and do 15 minutes, you know, and he would follow us, you know. Like he would go, I want to follow these two fucking guys because they make me work, you know. And things started getting heated. And one day I'm sitting on the thing. It's like October of 2006. I'm deep in addiction, guys. I'm about to get surgery on my neck, the fat ball I had on my neck. And I'm sitting out there, and all of a sudden, Joe Rogan's on tour with Tom Segura, Charlie Murphy, and the other kid from Michigan, a really nice kid.
John Heffron?
John Heffron. And they're doing a tour. And I'm sitting out there, and Fucko comes up to me, Caparulo, and he goes, hey, man, when your buddy comes back, he's trying to be cute. He goes, when your boss or your buddy comes back, he's not going to be able to do 40 minutes. And then Tommy came out. He said, did you tell him? And they were both giggling. I go, you know what? Both of you could go fuck yourselves. And I knew what time it was. They went away giggling too. But I knew what time it was. I could see that something was a brewing. You know, the night with the Pauly Shore thing, when TNT came to see him, they didn't make Rogan go up on stage. And then there was an argument between Pauly and this other manager and Joe Rogan. And I turned my back because I thought Rogan was going to knock him out. I wanted, if I had to take a lie detector test, I wanted to pass it. Were you looking? No. Did you hear the smacks? Fuck no. But Rogan didn't smack those guys. Rogan is smart, and he walked away. And that was the end of the conversation. So I knew it had something to do. It was just fucking people, the way they get. Comics are fucking little cunts sometimes. So one day I get a call from fucking Tommy, like January, before I do the surgery and on my neck. And he's telling me how Carlos came in there and bumped John, and that's not right. And I tell him, I said, listen, man, the last I checked Carlos on TV, he gets every right. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. Caparulo's funny. I'm like, Cap's a funny guy, but he ain't funny than fucking Carlos, bro. And nobody knows who the fuck he is. So knock it the fuck off with that shit. Well, I wanted you to tell Joe. What they were trying me to do was to get Joe riled up. Eventually, I got Joe riled up on his own, and whatever went down with Carlos happened. I was not there that night. I was recovering from my neck, the surgery. And once I saw that fat ball that came out of my neck, it was the people talking shit behind my back. I could see that fucking Comedy Store. So I said, fuck it. I'm not going in there no more with those fucking Espiritos Malos. I just made up my mind 2 months before. Like that December, I'm like, I'm not going in there no more. Because I know I'm going to end up knocking somebody the fuck out, number one.
You think you would have hit somebody? Jesus.
I was close. So I said, fuck it. And then the Jeff Valdez thing went down. And I went back in there one more time, and that proved it. That I went off on him. A fight. The LA Times wrote a story about it, that I fucking called the guy out for being a creep. Another fucking creepy producer, Jeff Valdez. So I had made that really pushed me over. Like I hadn't been in there 9 months. If I had any thoughts of being in there, they were done that night. And I just didn't come back. I wasn't banned or nothing. I walked out on my own 2 feet like a gentleman. But the whole time I'm hearing these fucking ramblings about this cunt Caparulo. I'm hearing these fucking little ramblings, how he's telling people they can't go up in front of him. This went on for years. You know, Rogan was doing, that Friday, when they threw Joe Rogan out, the comics were supposed to do a walkout. But Mitzi Shore said if somebody walked out, they wouldn't get spots no more. So they bailed. So right there, my camaraderie belief in comedy went out the fucking window right there. And I told Joe 1,000 times, don't even talk to those punk-ass bitches no more. But Joe's a nice guy. Me, I see him now, I say hello, but I know what they're about. You can't take these faggots into war because they're going to fold. So, go ahead.
I hate to say it. Are you worried that that might happen with what you're
sure.
about now?
But I really don't give a fuck.
Because that's the biggest. I learned that lesson early. Like,
yeah, I really don't give a fuck.
People will go like rile you up, and then when it's time to fall,
they all walk away. If you listen to the Carlos Mencia tape, they're in the back jumping, yelling, screaming. Once it was time to bail up, nobody did fucking dick. So, but anyway, that's a complete different story. So this is going on over the years. I'm hearing this shit. I'm hearing that he's saying I'm not funny, that Tommy's saying I'm not funny, that I was Mitzi's favorite, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't say it. And then one day, I stopped doing blow. And I started thinking about it. So like in 2013 or something, I was doing an interview, and I said it. I said, Caparulo's a fucking cunt. And his buddy Tommy. I wasn't going back up there. I didn't give a fuck. And what are they going to do, come get me at my house? Is that what you think they're going to fucking do? They don't have the ball. Anybody who goes to a talent coordinator and tells them that you can't put somebody on before me or after me. Then he started complaining about Bobby Lee going on after him. You know why? Because he was too funny. He wanted to be the star of the whole fucking night. He wanted people to leave at 11 and go, wow, that Caparulo is something else. So he wouldn't let Bobby Lee go up. Then he started on fucking Bill Crystalia. And then, you know, when Adam came back, the talent coordinator from the store came back, he had to call a bunch of other comedians to say, come back. Hannibal Buress, Al Madrigal. He called a bunch of comedians. And yeah, some of them had problems with Tommy, but some of them had problems because Caparulo didn't like him there. Caparulo felt threatened by them. He's that much of a fucking pussy. He felt threatened by them. And that's not what a comic does. A comic doesn't take money out of somebody else's pocket. Okay, I'm very hurt in 2 things that happened in my career. Once, I didn't book The Sopranos because Steve Sciarippa went and talked about me to the producers. I didn't like that. I didn't get the job. He took money out of my fucking pocket. Somewhere along the line, you have to pay for that. That's karma when you take money out of somebody's pocket, just like stealing. You're stealing. It's the same fucking principle.
I feel I never give a bad review to anybody, like an Uber driver. Like I feel bad for that stuff, and I've heard of people being like, I don't want to follow somebody, he's too funny. I've never heard of someone saying I don't want someone to follow me. That's
what he was doing. So and listen, when somebody says they don't want you following me, that means you want to be the funniest fucking guy around. You don't want to be fucking threatened. So people left. People like, you know what? Like a lot of people went down there and Caparulo probably like, I don't want him down here. And sure enough, Tommy believed him. And trust me, I've heard those stories too of people going down there and being funny after him and never getting a spot ever again, like till late night. You know, just 1,000 shitty things. And Tommy did 1,000 shitty things. Not only that, but he robbed the fucking joint. He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar behind the register. Here's a kid with a trust fund that was robbing. You understand me? So listen, both of them suck dick. Both of them are 2 dick-sucking motherfuckers. So Rogan goes on I go on Rogan's podcast Christmas Eve, and I say the truth. Rogan's up there being a nice guy saying, oh, well, the fucking guy, the Comedy Store, the computers, why cool people go down. No, cool people go down there because Tommy and that cunt Caparulo don't go down there no more. So a couple of weeks ago, what's the fat dude from fucking the Goldbergs?
Oh, Jeff Garland.
Jeff Garland goes down there and bumps Caparulo. That's why you didn't see him for a long time. That's why he hadn't been down there, because he was pissed about that. He was pissed about me and Joe being back down there. He was pissed about Magic. He was pissed about the lineups, bro. He's pissed about the heart of the lineups. This is a comic that's just at home. You know, and that's all he's fucking doing.
And haven't the lineups been great?
The lineups are sensational. Yeah. And he's not on them. He's not on them because he ain't around. There's fucking smoke. There's fucking fire, guys. I'm not making this fucking shit up. This is not slander. This is a human being telling you what the fuck happened. Ari went up to him the other night and was like, this is what you did. He's still not coming to it. Do you understand what claiming responsibility is? If he would have just claimed responsibility, this would have been over. I don't give a fuck if that little miserable faggot cunt gets hit by a fucking car. I don't give a fuck. It don't matter to me. All I wanted him to do is to know what he did. Well, he starts up at me on Twitter the other day. And I said some shit. I went overboard, but I had to give it to him. Listen, Art of War, Sun Tzu. If the fucking guy you're going up against is about fucked up tolerance, agitate this motherfucker to no end. What agitates a motherfucker more? Roberto Duran. You know how he won the fight against Sugar Ray Leonard the first time?
How?
He walked up to him in Montreal and he said, I'm going to fuck your wife up the fucking ass. It got into fucking Sugar Ray's head so much that he lost the first fight. Put it on. Put it on. It's a true story about, don't put it on here. Put it on when you get home. True story in Montreal. First time Roberto Duran fought fucking Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray, nice guy of the year, walking down the street with his family. And he sees Roberto. He goes, let me introduce Roberto to my wife. Roberto shakes his hand and goes, I'm going to fuck your wife up the ass. It threw him off for 2 weeks. It lost the fucking fight. Lost the fight. Lost the fucking fight because you lose the fight in your head first. This isn't a fight, but I gain nothing by smacking this fucking punk. He's a punk. I wouldn't dirty my hands. I never intended to. I just wanted him to know and to fucking apologize. And if you're not going to apologize, then don't come to the Comedy Store no more. Don't come to the Comedy Store because now I aroused this. People know this. You know how many people fucking call me? And not animals. Nice white people called me. You know how many open mics hit me up and said, thank you, that guy's a cunt? He's a cunt to us when he walks in the building. That dude's a cunt to everybody. So when Ari's talking to him yesterday, he's still not claiming responsibility. He don't do nothing, this kid. He don't do nothing. Why have him around? So I had to say what I had to say. I wasn't lying. If you watch the Twitter feed, he never accused me of lying. Nothing. He called me names. I'm grandpa, that I'm old, that I wasn't funny, that I was hanging on his jock when he got a deal. What deal? That was his fucking heyday. That was all he's ever done. Bitch, I've done fucking movies with savages. You know, for all the shit he did, nobody follows him on Twitter. He said I was irrelevant and not funny. This kid's a fucking punk. This kid's a fucking punk, and he'll always fucking be a punk. A comic, and then he started putting at the Comedy Store as a comic. What is that?
Artist colony.
Artist colony. Well, then you should have acted like one. You should have acted like one. You never did. You think people are coming after you now and saying these things to you because they feel bad for you? I'm not bullying this kid. I got no reason to, but I don't give a fuck if this fucking maggot falls off a fucking bridge tonight and gets hit by a truck and then the fucking lions eat him to death. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know, I don't give a fuck. But the point is how he didn't claim responsibility. Everything was everybody else's. And now some of the comics have been happy from what I did, but none of them beside Ari are going to go up to him and go, hey, dog, you fucked up.
Well, you know what's sad? It might be bullying in today's culture. Like in your world, it's just telling the truth. But now you can't even say the truth. Even
Listen,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. I know, and I know some people were upset by my comments. I don't really give a fuck if they were upset. I really don't. I'm too old to get worried about what fucking people think anymore. And if you're young, don't fuck. Who gives a fuck? You did it. It's done. This is how I feel in my heart. I'm not saying I'm going to smack the guy. I don't, dog. I got a beautiful wife and a beautiful family. I have a great time with you guys, and I have a great support group with you guys. I just wanted people to know, you know what, man? Aren't you sick and tired of getting conned? You liked Bill Cosby. Remember how you liked Bill Cosby? Remember how you liked Jared? He was sweet. You know, I'm sick and tired of you fucking people. Somebody didn't raise you right there. You can't judge character right off the bat. Maybe I am a fucked up guy, but I tell you what, call me with a problem. I'm the first fucking guy there. We live in a different time. You don't see me with. I went to the park the other day with my daughter. I seen a father in 50-degree weather, 60-degree weather with a scarf and a cashmere sweater and flip-flops on and a hat like Sinatra. These people have no fucking soul. You know, everybody talks about ISIS is killing our country. You know who's killing our country? These fucking Gentiles. And their home base is right here in L.A. See, the home base to these little fucking politically correct fucking fake, because that's all you are. When you're telling me you're politically correct, you're telling me you're fake. Because if you're a woman, if you've ever had a fucking black dick in your hand or a fucking dick in your hand, or if you're a man and you ever had a woman bent over and you're eating her asshole, you cannot be politically correct. You cannot lie. These people you see all the time. These people you see at these, when my wife and daughter go to church, that big white church where everybody goes, I bet half those fucking people fuck their grandkids. They do a bunch of shitty shit. But they go to church and they're politically correct and they like Saturday Night Live. And did you hear the joke the black chubby kid said? Fuck you. That show hasn't been funny in fucking 30 years. If somebody comes up to you and says they watch Saturday Night Live, that's the first judge of character. I don't want to be around this fucking guy. You know, what did John Lennon say? If you say the truth, you're only going to have 2 friends or something like that. I'd rather just have 2 friends anymore. I'd rather have 2 people listen to this fucking podcast than these people that wear hats and everything is for, you know. It's like what you said you seen on New Year's Eve. People who were just there to go see Bill Burr, just to...
And he was having he was like kind of getting mad at the audience. Because I went to the early show, which I normally don't go to because sometimes the crowds are a little tighter, but I wanted to get home. And it was just, the people in the crowd were all wearing like crazy, like it was like hipster central. Like downtown is all hipster. It's turned into what this season of South Park is. So, like, they make fun of, like, Whole Foods going in the middle of downtown. There's a brand new Whole Foods, and it was just the people that I saw down there were just crazy. And then I had the best, just to go off a little bit, you see all these people going out and partying, and I had the best time of New Year's. I was home at 10, and I was on the couch by, like, 10:30 eating burgers that we made. It's so much better than what I used to feel. Remember when we started this podcast? And I used to say I used to feel like I missed out on... I didn't miss out on shit.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
I told you that, bro. When I was a kid, I stopped going out at night. And people were like, oh, my God. And I'm like, I'm not missing nothing. It's a sacrifice, but once you realize nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing.
And I did make a mistake. I didn't want to take an edible, but I wanted to get high, so I was smoking a joint, and 2 cops rolled by, and I just threw the joint, and I was like, fuck. So I was wondering what you would do. Like, if you were smoking out, how do you smoke outside like that?
Keep your eyes open. The cops should never been on you.
And what if a cop comes by?
He'll never do, because I'm facing everything. And if you see a cop, it gives you time to put the joint down and stand there with an e-cigarette in your hand.
Wait, but do you throw the joint away?
No, you put it next to your foot and step on the fucking red spot. And just step away 5 feet from it. Or 2 feet and just keep opening your seats and make believe you're on the phone.
I got paranoid. I just tossed him. We just ran away.
No. You first of all, how far from you was he?
He was in the car. There was no way he even saw it.
Oh, you're such a fucking amateur. Yeah, there's no way in the car.
Bro, I didn't want to get arrested on New Year's Eve.
You keep it low. We're not going to arrest you for a joint. You're a nice kid. They're
really?
going to look up your name. Yeah. You got a license, don't you?
Yeah.
Then why are they going to arrest you?
Can you smoke on the street?
I'll smoke wherever the fuck. I smoked on the street before the fucking license. What do I give a fuck?
Oh, I'm so
You just got to be prepared. You got to sit there and look around. You got to have another cigarette in your hand just in case, or an e-cigarette. Go buy an e-cigarette and just have it in your hand, and you hang out and beep at people. And if you see the cop, you don't do this, you don't do nothing. It just opens. Just release. Your arm stays the same. You don't even move. You just go, bop. And your heel goes over, you take care of the cherry, and you put your foot that, if that. And you stand there. What are you doing here? I'm on the phone with my sister. Keep fucking going, cocksucker. And they'll drive away.
That's how scared I am of the cops.
No, don't be fucking scared. You pay taxes. You're a nice fucking kid. You don't do nothing to bother nobody. Listen, everybody's making resolutions. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that, especially for meals and food and what you're going to eat. You want a fucking great deal? Do you know what is just tremendous? Every time I've made them at home, listen, I've only cooked this Blue Apron at home maybe 7 times. And I'm not going to lie to you, all the meals that I've had at the house. But I order good shit. I'm not going to order something like couscous. I don't fucking like couscous. So you can admit it. The last thing anybody wants to do after work is wait in line at a grocery store and then schlep home and then cook a fucking complicated meal. It's expensive, and unhealthy takeout is hardly any better. That's where this new service, Blue Apron, comes in. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh ingredients and step-by-step recipes to your home, allowing you, right, I'm talking to you, cocksucker, to create a healthy, handcrafted meal at home without going to the grocery store. For less than $10 a day, $10 per meal, Blue Apron sends you fresh ingredients, perfectly proportioned, making cooking healthy meals really easy and fun. No trips to the grocery store, no waste of unused ingredients. Oh, I forgot this. Plus, you'll learn to cook with specialty ingredients that are normally hard to find. Blue Apron is also perfect for date night. You meet a chick at a bar, listen, you want to come over and lick my nuts? I'll cook for you. Absolutely. It's perfect for date night, cooking with friends, and they even offer family plans for like 4 people. That with kid-friendly ingredients, let's say your kid's a half a momo, he can't eat peanuts, we'll figure out a way. So the whole family can eat well and have fun and prepare meals together. Each meal is 500 to 700 calories per serving, and it's tasty as hell. You won't even know. All right, shipping is flexible and free, and the menus are always new. Like this week, you got Juicy Lucy burgers, you got 3 cheese calzones, and the family package has shrimp scampi with fettuccine and lemon ricotta and Brussels sprout pizza, okay? That's the kind of stuff they have. So they work around your schedule and dietary preferences, and with Blue Apron's experts, source only the best seasonal ingredients for incredible meals like the ones I just spoke about. You'll cook incredible meals and be blown away by the quality and the freshness. Blue Apron is a better way to cook, especially if you're trying to save some money and trying to cut down on calories. Check out this week's menu and get your first 2 meals for free by going to blueapron.com/Joey. Again, 2 meals for free. Check out the menu by going to blueapron.com/Joey. No treat. My treat, really. The first 2 meals are on me when you go to blueapron.com/Joey. All right? They're going to send all fresh ingredients to your little casa, and everything's going to be beautiful. I know a lot of you as well.
I would kill for that shrimp scampi.
I'm telling you, this is not a bad deal, guys.
Oh, my God.
Give it a shot. Go to blueapron.com. Give it a shot. Just go to the menu and see what they got. Even if you just start with doing 2 meals a week. 2 meals you hate cooking, or 2. Trust me, it's not a bad deal. Another thing, wine. Everybody wants to get drunk. Everybody wants to know wine. Nobody knows wine. Nobody really knows it. You get these people that know stuff, and you know how long you got to study for that? I ain't got that time. You got that type of time? You know what's going to take care of you? Club W, okay? Club W, listen, Club W is the new, directly from the grape to the glass wine revolution that's sweeping the nation. They work directly with vineyards to cut out the middleman, which saves you money. For 9,000 years, since Jesus was walking around, he's been drinking wine. That's also how long people have been confused about what type of wine to drink. Do I drink red with chicken? What kind of wine do I get? Am I getting ripped off? Did you see the report on 60 Minutes?
No.
They're sending Italian products over here, and they're fake. All these things you don't know. So for many of us, the shopping cart's what really causes the real headache. You got too many choices and too many things to learn, and it's expensive with no guarantee you're even going to like what you buy. All right? So you ever buy a bottle of wine, you bring it to somebody's house, they taste it, they look like you farted, and now you spent $13, $18. You don't need this aggravation in your life. Well, do this. I joined a new wine club called Club W. They changed the game. It's easy. You go to clubw.com and you answer 6 questions. That's it. 6 questions. Their algorithm creates a palate profile just for you. You like orangey wines that are sweet, blah, blah, blah. You eat calf's brains, whatever it is. They'll hook you up. Then they'll send the wine directly to your door, perfectly customized to match your taste. Excuse me.
It comes really quick, and it's packaged. It comes in like 2 days. It's
beautiful.
Great.
It's beautiful. And it comes right to your door. There's nothing broken, none of that. They package it beautifully. So with Club W, you get premium wine customized your taste at a third of what you pay at a store. They even have a no-risk, 100% money-back guarantee that you'll love when they send you. All right? Right now, go to Club W. They're offering my listeners 50% off your first order when you go to clubw.com/Joey. Again, clubw.com/Joey. Stop wasting time, stop messing around at retail stores, and start drinking wine you know you're going to love. Go to clubw/Joey and get 50% off your first order. That's right, clubw/Joey. Also, my main men over at On It, I seen Aubrey the other day. He was on the Rogan podcast today. Listen, those guys are always doing something fantastic. I didn't even look at their webpage today because I usually look to see what I could order and torment them. I'm living off the Alpha Brain. I got sick one time last year. It's not bad with Shroom Tech Immune. I fly every weekend, guys. You ever fly? You come back with a headache or a sore throat. 2 immunes before I get on the plane, and I'm bad. I'm brand new. Let's say you go to a bar, you like sucking dick. drinking wine out of people's glasses, that's where that Immune works for you. Shroom Tech Immune, Shroom Tech Sport. They have so many great quality fucking ingredients and supplements. You're going to go crazy. Too many for me to name and too many for me to know what even I'm fucking talking about. So do me a favor. Let's cut this shit. Go right now. You got new resolutions. You want to get in shape. Go to Honor.com. Look at the great selection of supplements that they have. If you find something you like, which you're going to like, it gets delivered right to your house. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to save you 10% off your first order right now. Go to Honor.com.
Use code word church.
Church, CHURCH, and get 10% off your first order. Everybody's been hitting me up. They love the Shroom Tech. They love the Hemp Force protein, the chocolate shake. They love this stuff, guys. The tea, testosterone booster, the coconut oil for the coffees and stuff. They love anything from Onnit. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in.
Church.
And get 10% off your first order delivered to your house. I want to thank Blue Apron. I want to thank Onnit. And I want to thank Club W for sponsoring. From food to wine to supplements, I'm always here for you guys. I want to thank Mike Dowd again. I'll let you guys know when we're doing it. It's going to be like a 3-day 7-5 podcast. We're just going to break this fucking thing down, see what the guy felt, whatever. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch, all right? You know I love you, cocksuckers, always. We'll be back Wednesday or Thursday. I don't fucking know. We'll be back. We're moving offices, but we're going to continue on with the podcast, so don't worry about none. I love you motherfuckers with all my heart. Lee Sayat, take it away, cocksuckers. Don't forget Charlotte, January 28th. St. Louis Helium Comedy Club, February 4th through the 7th. Vegas, February 19th for my birthday, for some of you motherfuckers that don't know.
Happy pre-birthday.
Don't bother me, will you?
This show is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron sends gourmet recipes and all the fresh ingredients you need to make them right to your door. Our listeners get their first 2 meals for free when you go to blueapron.com/Joey. Show is also brought to you by Club W. Club W is the wine club that changed everything, and right now they're offering our listeners 50% off of your first order when you go to clubw.com/Joey and go to onnit.com and use code word church to get 10% off all the great optimization products.